And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this segment today on the 20th day of September 2022. Hey, in Brisbane, it is a sunny 23 degrees and a beautiful spring's morning today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have for you today? So we have the daily news update, and then we have the daily India report, and by special request, we are bringing back Arpit Singh, who is the Vice President of Gopia, Queensland, and his interview. So that's all lined up for today. Well, of course, did you watch the funeral or the proceedings last night? I know many people did, and I'm looking at a lot of social media posts, and everyone thought the same, that it was just surreal. It was just amazing the way it was done and conducted. Of course, there will always be a few people who would be complaining about what sort of money would have gone into arranging all this. But if you look at the arrangements, immaculate, everything that happened clockwise. Now, this is something that the British are known for. Number one, their record keeping, and in the very early days, their navigational skills. And there's any wonder that they had so many colonies all around the world. Because number one, their record keeping and this organizational skills coupled that with the navigational skills, and they went out and conquered the world. Well, of course, what happened, in all the colonies is different, and everyone to its own accord. Not many people will all agree with all the good things. All the countries later on sought their independence. That's all part of history. But nevertheless, the Queen was very, very popular. And she had touched so many people's heart, and so many people have all, poured in their condolences and everything. So we'll show you some glimpses. I'm pretty sure you've all seen it, and you will keep seeing this for a few days. And later on, there will be documentaries made, films made, and it will be always there, because this was history in the making. And this is King Prince Charles with the regimental flag on the coffin. And that would have been quite an emotional thing for the new king, because, he has become the king, but of course his mother and the ever popular queen has passed away. Now, if you wonder what happens to all the jewels that were there on the coffin, the crown jeweler removes them. People have often wondered what happens to all the jewels, so the crown jeweler removes them, as you can see. And quite a task for him, and what sort of care that he would need to take. That is, those precious jewels. Well, right now, of course, moving on, God Save the King concludes the committal service. there you have it. God save the King. And of course, once again, quite touching. And of course, the royal family rejoins final procession at St. George's Chapel. The royal family. Can you imagine the amount of time and energy to have taken to plan all those things, execute, who's going to be standing where, what's going to follow what, and how all that message would have been passed. The event organizers and everyone working behind the scenes would have been madly working away, trying to make sure that everything goes as per plan. And according to all reports, everything did go as per plan, very well planned and executed in the grand old English tradition. So, ladies and gentlemen, right now, the one segment that really touched my heart was the Lone Piper. Oh, so emotional. That's enough to melt anyone's heart, and that really, really touched me, the going away of the soul. That is amazing, just amazing. Lost for words. I'm just lost for words. Well, right now, let's go to some of the local news. First of all, there's call for older workers to combat staff shortages. Good on you. Come back into the workforce.
Diane Roberts worked for 30 years in local government in the UK, but since returning to Australia in her 50s, she's found it impossible to find work.
The attitude towards older people in Australia is quite poor. You see an older person as not really being of any worth anymore.
She's well qualified, but at 65 can only manage part-time work and says there's very little of that on offer.
I think that's a very ageist concept. Older people often can't work full-time hours, but they can be great at 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day.
Oh, no. 50, thank you.
With the labour shortages, more mature job seekers are being hired. But the recruitment industry says employers need to be more flexible with hours and working from home.
We need to embrace that people are going to be in the workforce well into their 70s and 80s. So if we're starting to discriminate in their 50s, then we're really turning our back on a lot of talent.
There's certainly an untapped workforce because figures show more than 170,000 unemployed Australians aged between 55 and 64 would like to be working. Nearly half of those are skilled and about a fifth have university degrees.
Yeah, I'm an older worker, I'm 60.
Tim Bentley runs a centre for work and well-being.
60 is young. Talk about getting to 70 and still working, and so that's the new age. And these days people are active even in their elder years and able to contribute if it's the right kind of job and not too physically demanding, and I'm pretty sure they can do it as much as anyone else. Well, this next news is very dramatic. Of course, the daughters described the heartbreak after the father murdered their mother. Viewer discretion is advised.
A devastated daughter confronts her father in the dock. Jemima Fraser today brought Adrian Basham to tears and left no question about how she viewed his murderous actions. Nauseating. In 2018, Basham brutally killed his estranged wife Samantha Fraser just days before she was to testify against him in court on allegations of rape. Taking care to disguise himself, he went to the family home they shared at Cowes on Phillip Island and lay in wait for more than an hour. When Samantha Fraser drove into the garage, Basham struck her 41 times before putting a noose around her neck. The 46-year-old today faced the Supreme Court of Victoria for a pre-sentence hearing and wiped away tears as his eldest daughter revealed the cruel taunts she's had to endure from her peers. I bet her mum didn't even die and she's doing it to get attention. What if Gemma goes psycho just like her dad and kills us? Her grandfather, Trevor Fraser, described losing a daughter and the pain his grandchildren endured after being left forlornly waiting after school at the flagpole for a mother who never arrived to collect them. Adrian Basham today interrupted his lawyers multiple times before they asked for an adjournment because he was highly distressed. Justice Leslie Taylor agreed, but not before warning him that the hearing will go ahead no matter how hard he finds it. Danny Tran, ABC News, Melbourne.
Well, even if he finds it hard, it will go along. And, if you're distressed with that one, there are some numbers there. So 1800 respect with this 1-800-737-732 or Lifeline, which is 13 11 14. Or visit lifeline.org.au. Always remember that help is always out there. Now this next one is about a mother-baby unit Radisson Prison underutilised.
Jennifer Scriber and her daughter Audrey are enjoying some time in the Queensland sun, but just 3 months ago, time outside was in a guarded environment. They're just two of the few who have lived in the mother-baby unit at Risdon Prison.
There does seem to be a lot of red tape and a lot of hoops to jump through that makes it sort of a challenge for most people to access.
In the past decade, there have been 60 requests for children to be with their mothers in prison. About a third of those were approved, but most of those were before the new unit opened in 2018. Since then, only 4 prisoners have been accepted into the mother-baby program, but 2 were released before they could move in.
It really is.
So there you go. There are facilities that are made, but they are underutilized. As we know, a lot of resources and infrastructure and a lot of taxpayers' money goes into making these planes, building these things and manning them and keeping them up and running, so they need to be utilized. Well, before we're running a little bit short of time, but I'd like to bring this report, the serial podcast Adnan Syed, to be released soon. So, here we are in the day of information technology. And of course, it's a free country, freedom of speech. You can say what you want, but where do you draw the line as per this report?
Who is Adnan Syed and what has led to today's decision?
Yeah, Adnan Syed was the focus of the Serial podcast, which really was the starting point of the true crime wave of podcasts that have really enraptured audiences in recent years. This was released back in 2014, and it really was the first one which has now become a very popular style, including in Australia, probably most famously in recent history with the Teacher's Pet podcast. And it is interesting that we've seen this happened pretty close to obviously the conviction of the protagonist, if you will, of that podcast. But Adnan Syed was a teenager when he was convicted of the murder of his ex-girlfriend, Hai Min Lee. And the serial podcast, over 12 episodes, worked through that case and raised real questions about the investigation and the evidence that was used to convict him. But what is fascinating is today it really was a major plot twist where we saw Adnan Syed walk out of the courthouse. He was unshackled. He isn't completely free. He now has a tracker attached to him, and we have a situation where the prosecutors now have 30 days to decide whether or not they want to retry this case. But the reason he was unshackled today was because the prosecutors said to the judge that they believed that the original trial was based on bad evidence, and that they do believe that there are now two suspects who weren't originally looked into in the way that they should have been, which raises real questions about whether or not he received a fair trial. And we did hear from the prosecutors today at the time that Adnan Syed was released.
So there you are, in today's day and age, Facebook Live, podcasts and everything, there are also rules and regulations, and you need to be compliant, and you must not be, the slander or libel and all those things. And some of the things that we often battle with are the copyright things and the issues that come on, even though we use licensed content and free to air. And we also have our disclaimer in the front. Even then, as you can see from our disclaimer here, that our show might include material, so even then we get strikes and all those things that do happen. But we have to battle. Such is what it is in today's day and age. And of course, our series is not exempt or immune from that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time to go to our Daily India Report.
Welcome to the Daily India Report that brings you reports, interviews, features and more on India and the Indian diaspora. In a significant political development in India, Punjab State former Congress leader and ex-Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh is set to join the Bharatiya Janata Party that runs the central government in India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's BJP continues to enlist major political leaders, especially from the grand old Indian National Congress Party. Former State Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh, who left the Indian National Congress in September 2021 and formed a new party, Punjab Lok Congress, is now all set to formally join the BJP on September 19th after a party meeting. Singh will join the Saffron Party in the presence of BJP's National President JP Nadda and other leaders in Delhi. 7 former MLAs and 1 former MP who joined the PLC will be among others who will join the BJP. Singh, who returned from London following spinal surgery, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah recently. After his meeting with Amit Shah on September 12th, Singh said he held a very productive discussion on various issues related to national security, rising cases of narco-terrorism in Punjab state, and the future roadmap for the state's overall holistic development. Singh had conveyed his intention to merge his party with the BJP before departing for London. Senior Punjab BJP leader Harjit Singh Grewal had said in July. The two-time former Chief Minister is also the scion of the erstwhile Patiala royal family. In the Punjab State Assembly elections held in February, the PLC contested the elections in alliance with the BJP and the Sukhdev Singh Dhindsa-led Shiromani Akali Dal. However, none of its candidates could register a win, with Singh himself losing his home turf Patiala urban to an AAP candidate by a margin of 19,873 votes. The Aam Aadmi Party clinched 92 seats in the 117-member assembly to form the government in the state.
BJP continues to deliver setbacks to other national political parties across India. 16 members of the Janata Dal United from Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu unit have joined Bharatiya Janata Party.
BJP lent another blow to the opposition parties that claim to be joining hands against the ruling NDA alliance. The Janata Dal United unit of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu has joined the Bharatiya Janata Party in Delhi in the presence of party chief JP Nadda and the National General Secretary BL Santosh. 16 members of the JDU unit joined the BJP, including the ex-state president of JDU, The development comes after the JDU stitched alliance with RJD and others to form the Mahagathbandhan government in Bihar state. Earlier in September, 5 out of 6 Janata Dal United MLAs in Manipur had joined the BJP. On the 25th of August, the lone JDU MLA from Arunachal Pradesh has also joined the BJP. All this happened after Nitish Kumar's party had severed its ties with the BJP in Bihar in the first week of August and walked out of the National Democratic Alliance.
In another mission impossible made possible by the Indian Army, it has activated satellite broadband in Siachen Glacier at 19,061 feet. Siachen Glacier is also called the world's highest battlefield.
The Indian Army reached another milestone by activating satellite broadband service at the Siachen Glacier, located in the eastern Karakoram range of the Himalayas. The Indian Army is credited with successfully undertaking most difficult missions, especially in infrastructure building. These include the highest motorable roads in the world built atop high passes connecting remote mountains regions with the rest of the country. A critical aspect of today's digital world is to set up and enable broadband. The Army, in collaboration with Bharat Broadband Network Limited, a government-owned broadband infrastructure provider company, worked towards providing internet services to the troops stationed in Siachen at a height of 19,061 feet. Indian Army's Fire and Fury Corps is deployed to guard the Siachen Glacier at 19,601 feet. The Corps said broadband will help increase the efficiency of communication and subsequent operations along the treacherous terrain and enemy border. Hughes Communication India, in collaboration with the Indian Space Research Organisation, officially launched its first high-throughput satellite broadband internet service in the country. Through the HTS technology, the company is already providing assistance to the Indian Army and paramilitary forces patrolling the line of actual control and other remote border outposts.
India and Singapore held the first India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable to enhance economic cooperation.
India and Singapore on September 17th launched a new mechanism headed by the Ministers of Foreign Affairs, Finance and Trade to enhance economic cooperation and to initiate new areas for collaboration. The inaugural meeting of the India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable was held during Singapore Deputy Prime Minister Lawrence Wong's visit to India, which began on September 17th. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar said the two sides held an open and freewheeling discussion on the possibilities and prospects of our ties in the coming decade. The meeting assumed significance as Wong, who also holds the finance portfolio, was named by Singapore Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong as his new deputy in June, paving the way for him to become the city-state's next leader. Wong is accompanied by a delegation that includes Singapore's Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan, Trade and Industry Minister Gan Kim Yong and Minister in charge of Trade Relations S. Ishwaran for his 5-day visit to India. The Singapore ministers joined Jaishankar, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman for the maiden meeting of the ISMR.
Foreign portfolio investors have pumped in a net sum of 12,900 crores in the Indian market in just the first half of the month of September 2022.
Foreign investors pumped more than 12,900 crore rupees in the Indian capital markets in September so far as compared to 7,605 crore rupees in September 2021. According to the depository's data, foreign portfolio investors invested 12,084 crore rupees in the equities market and 1,777 crore rupees in the debt market. FPIs invested 268 crore rupees in the hybrid market while pulling 1,225 crore rupees from the voluntary retention route of the debt market, taking the total net inflow in the Indian capital markets to 12,904 crore rupees in September. Prior to this, FPIs had pumped 56,521 crore rupees in August and 1,971 crore rupees in July.
Indian President Draupadi Murmu pays tributes to Queen Elizabeth II on behalf of Indian citizens.
Indian President Draupadi Murmu visited Westminster Hall in London, where the body of Queen Elizabeth II is lying in state. President Murmu, who is in London on a 3-day visit, signed a condolence book on behalf of the Indian government on September 18th. She was joined by Acting High Commissioner Sujit Ghosh at Lancaster House in London, where visiting world leaders are stopping by to sign a book of condolence in memory of Queen Elizabeth II. The Indian President will attend the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II in London on September 19th. The state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II will take place at Westminster Abbey in London in the afternoon. The President offered tributes to Queen Elizabeth II on her own behalf and on behalf of the people of India. Queen Elizabeth II, the former head of state of the UK and head of the Commonwealth of Nations, passed away on September 8th. She was 96. India held a day of mourning on September 11th.
Indian women beat England by 7 wickets in the first one-day international played at Hove, England.
Indian women's cricket team beat England by 7 wickets in the first one-day international of 3-match series at County Ground at Hove, England on September 18th. India had won the toss and elected to bowl first. Batting first, England women scored 227 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in the stipulated 50 overs. Davidson Richards was the top scorer with an unbeaten half-century. Chasing a target of 228 runs, India made 232 for the loss of 3 wickets in the 44.2 overs. Indian opener Smriti Mandhana was the top scorer with 91 runs, while captain Harmanpreet Kaur scored an unbeaten 74 runs. Yastika Bhatia also made a valuable contribution of 50 runs. Smriti Mandhana was declared player of the match. With this win, India has taken 1-0 lead in the 3-match series. The second one-day international will be played at St. Lawrence Ground, Canterbury on September 21st.
Fan of Bollywood star Hrithik Roshan were in for a treat as Vikram Vedha first song Alcoholia was launched by the makers in an event in Mumbai on September 18th.
Producers of the film Vikram Vedha released the film's first song Alcoholia at Mumbai's Gaiety Galaxy in the presence of directors Pushkar and Gayatri, cast members Rohit Saraf, Radhika Apte and Yogita Behani along with producers Shibashish Sarkar. The song featuring Hrithik Roshan had the fans going berserk dancing to the hook steps. Some fans even performed a surprise flash mob for Hrithik Roshan. The infectious and captivating beat will tap your foot. The song Alcoholia can be defined as a tribute to booze, and in the video, Hrithik shows off his dancing abilities while playing the somewhat inebriated Vedha. Alcoholia has been written by Manoj Muntashir and composed by Vishal and Shekhar. The composer duo has also lent their voice to the song along with Snigdhajit Bhaumik and Ananya Chakraborty. Ganesh Hegde is the choreographer for the song. Hrithik Roshan portrays a feared criminal in the film. Saif Ali Khan plays the lead in the film as Vikram. Radhika Apte and Rohit Saraf will be also visible in pivotal roles in the film.
With much fanfare.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have time for you in this segment. And as promised that today we will bring to you that interview. So here it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special segment. And today we are going to be talking about something very, very important. As we know, we're coming on to the Mental Health Month. So with that, to talk about upcoming event, we'd like to welcome to the show Arpit Singh, the Vice President of Gopia Queensland. Welcome to the show, Arpit.
Thank you so much, Umeshji. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Okay, so now let's talk about the seminar. And when I was talking about that, what came to mind was your last mental health seminar, and I think the tagline there was, let's talk about it. Oh, talk about it, why don't we? Something like that. So, okay, moving on. Why is there a need for a mental health seminar?
Yes, that's a really good question, Umeshji, and that's what I was thinking of starting out with as well. As we all know, there's quite a lot of awareness about mental health issues, but people still, hold back from talking about it openly, and that stigma and that taboo of talking about mental health issues is still there in our society. And it should be as simple as, talking about any other physical ailments, but unfortunately that's not there. And because of that, a lot of mental health issues increase because people are suffering in silence and they're not getting an opportunity to talk about it fully and openly. And to validate those facts, I've got these statistics here with me. So in the recent census, the Australian census that happened, it was found out that over 2 in 5 Australians aged between 16 to 85 years had experienced a mental disorder at some time in their life. Now, also 1 in 5 had a 12-month mental disorder, and anxiety was the most common group of 12 mental health disorders. So that explains that people are not talking about it, but it's there, and it's a known fact that everyone, each one of us goes through a subliminal anxiety or depression issues, but we're just not talking about it. So this is an initiative from my side and from GoPure Queensland in bringing this topic in discussion and starting a conversation especially within our community.
And that is very, very important. And one of the points that came to mind when you talked about, what the mental status and the mental health is, it goes back, in the prehistoric times, even in our mythologies. But people didn't know it then. I was just reading someone's interpretation of Bhagavad Gita. And they talked about the Arjun when he said to Krishna that why should I be fighting, and what is my role? And there Sanjay, who is reciting that, he uses the word that out of pity. But the person who is diagnosed with book, he says it wasn't pity; it was his mental disorder. His mind was not set, and there was other cases of that mental health, slight disorders in Arjuna, and so there was a cure for that, which is Arjun cure, which is another topic. But it has been there, and it has been for a long time. But you really need to identify. So what is the aim of the seminar? What do we aim to get out of this seminar?
Yes, Umeshji. So basically, as we know that everyone's going through the effects of this busy lifestyle that we all live in this day and age. Especially after COVID, people have realized the importance of getting out in the community and socializing with people. But that's also a challenge because everyone's been within their houses, limited there for so long. So getting out and socializing is also a big task. So bringing out these topics makes people feel that they're not the only ones suffering. So basically, this year we've got the theme of, it can be summarized in 3 words. The first is acknowledge, second is understanding, and the third is acting. So we'll be focusing on these 3 aspects of the whole mental health conversation, beginning with acknowledging all the facts and all the disorders and problems that we have, understanding why it is what it is, and then coming up with action plans and strategies on how to mitigate that. And the aim is basically not just mental health awareness, but going beyond the awareness and actually making the whole society, whoever's coming, and all of us having those tools and strategies to be able to tackle any such incident in our lives or in the lives of our near and dear ones.
And that is so wonderful. As Tekla says, awareness and beyond. So that is very, very well said. And acknowledge, understand, and act. And the action is really need to be taken right now. So that is wonderful. So moving on, all the people who come there, so what would be, a good outcome, and what would be some expected takeaways from the seminar?
Of course. So first of all, that's one thing that I'm looking forward to, having a nice 3-course lunch at the iconic Brisbane City Hall, which is obviously a really good venue to go and mingle with people. The turn of events would be, there'll be a presenter from Black Dog Institute presenting a talk, and that girl has a lived experience of depression, so she'll be talking about that, which is very encouraging for people to talk about their issues. Then we'll have a panel discussion where we'll have academics from University of Queensland, QUT, and we'll have psychologists, psychiatrists, people from the government, and a wide range of people for a proper discussion that we can have in terms of the theme of the show, which is acknowledge, understand, and act. We'll open the floor to the Q&A session to the audience, and we'll have a very special dance performance by one of our community groups as well. So that's the flow of events, and there'll also be a movie screening, which will talk about the mental health issues further.
It sounds very good, and it looks like you've got a very good program. Going by the last one that you did, was very well received and very good feedback. So it's looking very, very good. Really looking forward to this event. Now, of course, our event of this nature cannot come about without the support. So, what sort of support have you got? Who and which organizations have supported you?
Absolutely, you absolutely read my mind there, Umeshji. I was just thinking of the people who've supported us, and this year we've got major fundings from Brisbane City Council and the Queensland Mental Health Commission, and we're very grateful for both these bodies to come on board with us and support this initiative within our community. We also have our special sponsors, Councillor Sandy Landers is there to support us as one of the sponsors. Cornerstone Law Offices, Pravanita Singh Pillai and Bob Pillai, they've always been supporters of our events and especially this initiative. And we have Copycat Printing, again, Nisarg Shah. He's a very dear friend of Gopio and mine, and he supports all these causes as well. We have, of course, Australian Indian Radio and Brisbane Indian Times as well, supporting us in all our endeavors. And with the support of this huge team, we look forward to having everyone at this special lunch.
Wonderful to see that you've got good support, especially you got on board Black Dog Institute, Queensland Mental Health Commission, and you mentioned Brisbane City Council. So it is very good to see that kind of support. Now, of course, you mentioned Brisbane City Council and the iconic City Hall. Well, of course, venue-wise, you couldn't get a better venue, a more pleasing venue where there is, you sit down, cool, calm, enjoy in the, that good environment that gives you very good vibes there as well. Okay, so the venue
good value as well. Sorry to interject. It's pretty good value for money. We've tried to keep the ticket price as low as we could because understandably we would like more people to attend and be able to afford the ticket price. And I believe that the ticket cost more than justifies the offerings of the event, more than justifies the cost of the ticket. It's a 3-course lunch with drinks included and with an amazing show at an iconic venue.
And of course, you can't get better than that. So that's good value for money. And it's thanks to the sponsors that, they could host an event of such magnitude with such a reasonable price. Well, so thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing this very important information, especially in the Mental Health Month and this mental health awareness. It is the will of people like you who put forward ideas like this and put this plan to action and make it happen. Otherwise, it will always get put in the too hard basket and no one will do it. So the more the better. And in this day and age, people are talking about many things which they traditionally kept away, were taboo many times, many subjects. So kudos on you, to bringing this out, bringing it out to the community and raising this awareness. So Arpit, finally, is there any concluding remarks?
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Umeshji. It's people like me can only do so much. It's also because of the community support and the community leaders like yourself who believe in the vision and support us. Basically, I would just like to invite each and every individual who's listening to this show to come and support this event. There would be many takeaways when you walk out of this event, like the feedback that we received last year, and it will definitely impact your life in one way or another, and will give you tools and techniques to deal with your life and to handle situations in your friends and families' lives as well. So please do come, and we'll make sure it's an event worth coming to.
And of course, it will be. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Gopia Queensland presents Mental Health Awareness and Beyond. Acknowledge, Understand and Act. And this is going to be held on the 25th of September from 11:30 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. at Brisbane City Hall, the main auditorium, King George Square. And you can go to events at humantix.com and you can find the link there. Also, you can go on our website and our Facebook pages, and anywhere. All you need to do is just, even if you can't find any of this, just Google that, you'll find the link. And I'd highly recommend that you book in as soon as you can and come to this very, very important look. People go to many kinds of functions and events, but this is very important. This is the need of the day. This is what's happening in our community, and it will be wonderful to have all your company there. Come find out for yourself what's happening out there during this mental health awareness seminar. So once again, Arpit, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Umeshi. Thanks.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have for you in this segment today. It's wonderful to have your company on this 20th day of September 2022. And right now, 24 degrees and sunny right here in Brisbane. Where would you rather be? This is it. This is as good as it gets. So it is a wonderful time of the year. Not too hot, not too cold. Mornings are getting much more pleasant. And of course, we will see you all tomorrow. And don't forget that tomorrow we will also have the real estate update with Usu Chandra. But for now, it's goodbye from us from this segment.